Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and Restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At Crimson Lights, Esther is delivering Nick and Summer's order to their table. They tell her she's the best, and she can see they need their caffeine. Esther acknowledges that her concerns about Sharon have kept her away from pecan pie muffins. It's not typical of her for the boss to not return her calls. According to Nick, she is currently in a spa. With a sharp tone, Esther remarks, "I hope she's having fun." Chance shows up after she leaves and declares that Phyllis is nowhere to be found. There is no evidence that she got a ride, and her automobile is at the athletic club. Nick tells him about Phyllis's call to Summer and questions whether she might actually be on a professional road trip. Given that her mother would have brought Daniel with her, Summer questions this. She wouldn't have left without calling him after berating him about his job. The police officer receives a call verifying that Sharon has not been documented visiting any spas in Sedona. As they argue over whether Sharon would lie or take off, Summer points out to her father that she did just that a few weeks prior. She was drugged at the time, according to Nick. Although his daughter thinks anything might have set her off, he doesn't believe it. She speculates that Sharon might simply be attempting to evade him. He also doesn't believe that. They talk about how anxious Sharon was, and Summer compliments her father on being a wonderful father. Nick is 99.9% certain that something is wrong, but he is unsure of where to turn for answers. Mark Grossman lands here after taking off. Billy and Daniel are certain there's a problem. When Daniel gets to Billy's house, he tells him that his mother hasn't responded. It doesn't make sense that his mother would take a mysterious trip and call Summer in an odd way, but he and Nick didn't want to bother him yesterday. Something is wrong with this whole situation. This raises several questions. The abbot explains that during his time in Paris, Phyllis called him all the time. That she would disappear when he began phoning back is incomprehensible. Daniel notes that Sharon is no longer there either. At about the same time, they vanished. The fact that two women who despise one another would disappear simultaneously and then call in simultaneously on burner phones is more than just a cosmic coincidence, in their opinion. All of this sounds like a strategy for retaliation. Daniel and Billy YNR, something is definitely up. They both trust Phyllis when she tells them that she has gone over that. What is going on, though, if it isn't retaliation? They can't picture Phyllis and Sharon hugging one another through this. Billy says they might have taken the women together. The person who did it probably didn't know what they were getting themselves into and will soon be pleading for the release of their prisoners. Only Jordan and Ian were insane enough to do this, and they are both now deceased. Daniel and Billy discuss Phyllis leaving YNR. Summer gives her brother a call. She says that she is at Crimson Lights with Chance and her father, and she is certain that he will want to hear the police officer's opinion. After Daniel ends the call, Billy informs him that he wants to accompany him because he has a lot riding on Phyllis. See also, spoilers for Tracker. Sharon and Phyllis seek out someone to hold responsible. Whining, Phyllis awakens on the medical clinic's basement couch. Thanks to Sharon not drooling on her shoulder, she slept well that night. She claims that Sharon has already done a number on it when she checks for coffee. She questions whether their host wanted them to sleep in since there was no alarm this morning. Sharon has been searching through literature for hints on their possible abductor. Perhaps their only weapon is knowledge of that. Phyllis doesn't think they would leave a clue as to who they are. The location must be some sort of hint, Sharon feels certain. Making the connection, Phyllis mumbles that the voice is aware of her mental health problems. She suggests, "I believe we are on the final stop of your bipolar express." According to Sharon, their captor might be a patient or physician. Sharon wants Phyllis to stop talking if she isn't going to assist. Sharon YNR is yelled at by Phyllis. According to the redhead, pursuing an identity could only enrage the voice. According to Sharon, they can leave using any information they discover. Phyllis asserts that they must haggle because she has a superior plan. She tells her that the Newmans are wealthy and that they are the mothers of Victor's grandchildren. Everybody has a price, they only need to be identified. The reward can't be as simple as putting them in the same room. It wouldn't make sense. Sharon is still adamant about learning their purpose. That is not a concern for Phyllis, who would be pleased to give a large sum of money to put a stop to this. Regarding Sharon being on both sides of the padded wall, they argue. Sharon maintains that this isn't your normal kidnapping. They are being forced to confront their past by someone. It can be someone who wishes for them to grow from their errors. That will never occur, according to Phyllis. Sharon is certain that this is the work of someone who may have been impacted by their previous disputes and despises each other. See also, Eric Braden's touching moment. Sharon isn't making any accusations, but she doesn't think it's unreasonable to believe that the person responsible might be a family member. Phyllis immediately interprets this as implying that one of her kids might be to blame. This seems crazy to her, but in a perverse way, it makes sense to Sharon. For years, they have been witnessing them assault one another. Because of what she did to Daniel, Phyllis believes Sharon ought to spend the rest of her life in a cell. Understanding this, Sharon contends that the children may have come to the conclusion that Phyllis would never disclose this, therefore they are locking them up to resolve the issue in order to protect her from herself. Offended, Phyllis accuses Nick of being the one who needs to be saved and puts him on speed dial. Phyllis flips it around and tells Sharon about Faith's ordeal. Perhaps she's attempting to discipline her? According to Sharon, her daughter lacks the means to do this. Phyllis then implies that Mariah might have been responsible. Phyllis suggests Nick after Sharon dismisses that. He may want them to finally resolve their differences because he must be tired of them arguing. Sharon dismisses this as absurd and claims that Nick would never want them to pray for their lives. They begin to argue over who he cares about more until Sharon shifts the burden back to Phyllis's kids. Nick inquires about Chance's situation with Summer. Nick asks Summer how things are going with Chance back at Crimson Lights. She clarifies that although they are being polite to one another, she finds it difficult to be with him because of the way he handled Daniel. She is reminded by her father that he was simply carrying out his duties. She would admit that she has always appreciated his commitment to his work, but she needed his help. He felt like the enemy instead. However, it means a lot that he has made the effort to assist. Nick encourages her to remain optimistic as they discuss Phyllis, confident that she will return to town with a bang. His daughter's memories of Heather's ordeal are unabated. All of them encouraged Daniel to remain optimistic, but see how that worked out. Nick will accept all of that, but they must radiate positive energy for the time being. Summer and Nick discuss Chance YNR. Chance reappears, and they are joined by Daniel and Billy. The police officer clarifies that there is no documentation of Sharon visiting any spa or of Phyllis taking a ride. They essentially don't know what's happening. Billy clarifies that he and Daniel believe Sharon and Phyllis are not voluntarily together. They are unable to think of someone who might wish to pursue them both. They keep speculating, wondering if the two women are the only ones participating or if this is all random. More, a fresh suspect in kidnapping. Esther asks Nick if he has heard from her boss as she brings out a refill for him. She needs her coffee grounds red for a crucial appointment. She was to be covered by Sharon. She rushes out to ask the other staff members if they can cover after he reassures her that she will arrive. Chance leaves after receiving a call. Nick encourages his daughter to maintain the happy vibes once more. Chance comes back and tells them that Sharon's car was discovered in the workplace parking lot. In order to track a general area, he asks them for the burner phone's numbers. Daniel is beginning to think that this is an official probe. Chance, Nick, Daniel, Summer, and Billy talk about Y and R's clues. The voice asks another mysterious question. Back in the basement, Phyllis yells that she's had enough and jumps up, threatening to remove the gloves. She accuses Sharon of being entirely to blame for this. Sharon yells back that she's gone too far. She is accused by Phyllis of continuously destroying her family and then pleading for forgiveness. She is fed up with everyone else letting her off the hook. Sharon maintains, "We cannot allow this to escalate into a war," implying that they are aiding their kidnapper. Do they want us to kill each other or do they want us to finally get along? Phyllis queries. She's at the end of her rope and would like to know. She yells into the intercom that she is prepared to fight until only one of them remains. Phyllis shakes her head, unsure of her abilities, but not wanting to be confined to a room with a woman she hates. She is only interested in the potential outcome. She says she's going to smash a window and scream until someone hears her as she grabs a chair. Sharon claims she's going to kill them as she tries to take it from her hands. Phyllis begs for the chair, insisting she must do something. She lets it go when Sharon reminds her that winter is here. Sharon apologizes for accusing her children as they sit down. However, whomever is responsible for this is someone who despises and knows them. Phyllis looks up at the intercom and wonders if this amuses them. The voice says, "I'm not here to be entertained. It's time to move on since the game is all that matters." The speaker asks, "What has no cost but is worth everything?" The women exchange glances. Tuesday, March 4th. The week kicks off with Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Summer Newman growing increasingly concerned about Phyllis Summer's sudden disappearance. Despite her brief phone call to reassure them, Phyllis's continued absence and lack of communication raise red flags. Daniel, determined to uncover the truth, pressures Chance Chancellor to launch a full-blown police investigation. However, Chance's reluctance to take immediate action frustrates Summer, who is convinced that Sharon Newman is somehow involved in her mother's disappearance. Summer's suspicions add tension to the storyline, as she clashes with Chance and voices her concerns to anyone who will listen. Meanwhile, Nick Newman begins to worry about Sharon's well-being, as her strange behavior and lack of contact with her daughters raise alarm bells. At the abandoned psychiatric facility, Sharon and Phyllis continue to navigate their captor's twisted game. Phyllis, fed up with the riddles and threats, devises a plan to break a window and scream for help. However, Sharon intervenes, warning Phyllis that their captor could retaliate with deadly consequences. Despite their animosity, the two women realize that their survival depends on their ability to work together. They brainstorm a possible escape plan, but the captor's ominous warning suggests that their efforts may be in vain. The tension between Sharon and Phyllis is palpable as they grapple with their fear, anger, and the realization that their captor may have a personal stake in their reconciliation. Wednesday, March 5th. Nikki Newman attempts to broker peace between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman, urging them to put aside their differences for the sake of their family. However, Nikki's efforts are met with resistance, as Jack and Victor's long-standing rivalry continues to simmer beneath the surface. The tension between the two men underscores the complexity of their relationship as they navigate their shared history and conflicting ambitions. Nikki's determination to bring peace to the Newman family adds an emotional layer to the storyline as she grapples with the challenges of mediating between two strong-willed men. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott decides to push Adam Newman's buttons, reigniting their long-standing rivalry. The confrontation between Billy and Adam is filled with tension as they exchange barbs and accusations. However, Billy's efforts to provoke Adam may backfire as the discovery of a leak at Jabot threatens to derail his plans. The fallout from the leak promises to have far-reaching implications for the Abbott family as they grapple with the challenges of running a successful business in the competitive world of Genoa City. Thursday, March 6th. Nikki Newman offers Claire Grace some much-needed advice, drawing on her own experiences to help the young woman navigate the challenges she faces. Nikki's wisdom and compassion shine through as she offers Claire guidance, underscoring the depth of their bond. Meanwhile, Devin Hamilton Winters turns to Lily for information about Damien Kane, hoping to uncover the truth about his connection to Aristotle Dumas. Lily's investigation into Damien's background continues to raise questions about his motives, as the residents of Genoa City grapple with the implications of his actions. Kyle Abbott sets boundaries with Summer Newman, recognizing the need to protect their relationship from the drama of their past. However, Summer's determination to fight for Kyle threatens to disrupt their fragile peace, as she struggles to respect his wishes. The tension between Kyle and Summer adds an emotional layer to the storyline, as they navigate the complexities of their shared history and conflicting desires. Friday, March 7th. Victor Newman makes an ultimatum to Claire Grace, reminding her that his love comes with conditions. Victor's tough love approach underscores the complexity of their relationship, as Claire grapples with the challenges of living up to his expectations. Meanwhile, Audra Charles and Holden Novak hatch a scheme, raising questions about their true intentions. Audra's determination to protect her relationship with Nate Hastings adds tension to the storyline, as she navigates the challenges of her past with Holden. Jack Abbott makes a promise to Summer Newman, vowing to do everything in his power to protect her. Jack's commitment to Summer underscores the depth of their bond, as he grapples with the challenges of being a father figure in her life. The emotional moment adds a layer of warmth to the episode, as the residents of Genoa City navigate the complexities of love, betrayal, and family. Week of March 10th to 14th. As the week unfolds, the various storylines converge, setting the stage for even more explosive developments in the days to come. Sharon and Phyllis's fragile alliance is tested as they continue to navigate their captor's twisted game, while Lily's investigation into Damian Kane uncovers shocking revelations that could upend the lives of everyone involved. The confrontation between Billy and Adam threatens to reignite old rivalries, and the mystery of Aristotle Dumas looms larger than ever. With so much at stake,